So you're in the market for a vintage watch. You're looking for something a little bit smaller, something that's still elegant, and most importantly, robust, with real investment opportunity, and from a marquee brand. There's only one watch, and it's the Rolex 1016 Explorer. So guys, welcome to this Xupes review. And what we're going to cover off today with this Rolex Explorer 1016 is we're going to have a look at the cultural significance and the history of the reference. We're going to look at the design, because of course, this was a tool designed for use. And then we're going to look at the value proposition, the investment opportunity for modern day collectors. So there are a number of misconceptions about this 1016 Rolex Explorer. The first is that it was the watch that Edmund Hillary took to the top of Everest, and it wasn't. There was a watch that was very similar in size to this that Rolex produced for that trip, and it was a precision Rolex with an oyster case, and it sits in a museum in London right now. It was the inspiration for this, the 1016. The design was simple, utilitarian. It was designed for the modern day Explorer back in the 60s, and as a result of that epic adventure, it's developed this real cult following amongst collectors and enthusiasts. So the question is, what makes the Explorer special aesthetically and from a performance perspective? Well, for me, it is the quintessential tool watch. Completely unfussy, it's time only with a central seconds hand. We've got this now famous design on the dial, which has the 3, 6, and 9 in this beautiful font, which is instantly recognizable as Rolex. It's a 36mm oyster case with a screw-down crown, a hugely reliable caliber from Rolex inside, a beautifully polished satin-finished bracelet, and you've also got this beautiful gilt dial with painted markers. And for me, it's the simplicity. It's really what Rolex is at its core. It's a very, very simple brand that does what it does and continually evolves. It's very small adjustments that make all the difference. And I think we're seeing in 2020 now this evolution to smaller cased, more functional, day-to-day watches. If you're looking for a watch that serves all purposes and that you can put on every single day and feel comfortable from boardroom to gym to holiday to barbecue, you'd find that in the 1016. It's absolutely everything that you need in a watch. This reference is almost the little brother of the Rolex family, because in a number of ways, it's incorporated the hand-me-downs from a number of other references. We've got the 1570 hacking caliber inside, which we see in a number of other sports references. We've got the Datejust case, and in so many ways, it's an understated, elegant tool watch that's probably made for the guy or the girl who's not typically a Rolex buyer. Taking a second to look at the details of the watch, we also see the continuation of this sharing of features and design cues from different references. We have the Mercedes hands, which you'll know and love from the Submariner. You also have the heavy, thick lume from the tritium on the dial. It was really important in low light to be able to read this. I have to say, in the references that have followed this 1016, in the more modern 40+mm references from Rolex, we don't have that real vintage love in the dial. When we look at the cultural significance of the 1016 and compare it to modern day watches, we see celebrities and ambassadors being paid a lot of money to wear watches. But when you have real honest authenticity like we do here, where the author of James Bond, Ian Fleming, actually wore a 1016 himself without being paid a penny by Rolex because he loved the watch so much. He even wrote the 1016 into the storylines for Bond, but actually in reality we know that that didn't come to fruition. But if that's not cool, then I don't know what is. And we see people within the menswear and the watch space wearing the 1016 as a badge of honor almost. And I think of my dear friend Stephen Pulverant from Hodinkee, who wears a 1016 and feels that it's almost replaced everything else in his collection. And Toby Bateman, the old managing director of Mr. Porter, these real sort of style icons of the modern day, in my opinion, choose the 1016. This Rolex Explorer 1016 is from 1976. And the price is £12,999 on the website now. And I really do feel that there's real value proposition here with this watch. We've seen the prices increase in the last few years, and to find one in such fine condition is rare. I'd also say that it's the sort of watch that almost exemplifies the idea of one watch for life, if there was such a thing. And while this might not be the watch that you'd have expected to pick up for life, this really is a watch that you can buy now, enjoy in every environment that you could think of, and then hand it on to the next generation to enjoy. As always, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you've enjoyed the review, and I really hope that I've lit that spark inside of you to fight for the underdog, to consider the 1016 as the ultimate tool watch. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Do leave me a comment underneath. Let me know what you think of the 1016 and, of course, what you'd like us to review next. Click the bell if you'd like to have all the new videos in your inbox from me. And as always, folks, go well. See you next time.